Hey, what's up, good people? It's Jay Ray, the co-host of Q Points, and I wanted to come to you because there are two really important ways that you can support our show. One is by subscribing to it wherever you listen to or watch your podcasts. Q Points is pretty much everywhere. The other thing that you can do is you can visit us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on Podchaser, and you can leave us a star rating. Please rate us 5 stars because you know you love Q Points. And on Apple Podcasts and on Podchaser, you can actually leave us a written review. It's not required, but it really does help to spread the word about the show, and it helps people to discover it as they're looking for new podcasts to listen to. We're always appreciative of you supporting Q Points. We thank you so much for all that you've done for us so far, and enjoy the show.
Excuse me, y'all. Hey, welcome back. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is Jay Ray, also known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegay III. What's happening, good people?
Hey, and we're back for another episode of Q Points, your safe space for meaningful discussions around Black music and the superstars that we love. Jay Ray, I feel like I just want to cut to the chase, but first, how are you doing?
You know what? I am good as good can be, man. It has been a beautiful and productive week. The weather's nice, and I'm feeling good. How you doing?
I'm excellent. I'm a little tired. You know, work had me working today, but it's all good because I'm excited about this episode tonight because we've got a special guest that we've been telling the world all about, and I cannot wait to chop it up with this gentleman. I think he's the first MC we've had on the show. No. I take that back. He is not.
Right.
He is not.
He is not.
He is not. But we are totally excited to speak with him in regards to what is going on in this industry right now and viral moments and what it means to be a performer in this day and age. But J Ray, I really want to know, what was your Diggable Planets experience like? Because I saw the pics. I know you all saw the pics. Please, I want to hear about your Diggable Planets experience.
Listen, I put the link in the chat for those who may not have seen it on Instagram. And so, okay, let me take a step back. So it has been a minute since I have been to a hip hop show. Well, one, because of the pandemic, I ain't been to shows, so that's part of it. And then the last 2 concerts that I've been to have been like rock shows, so it's been a while. So I've never seen Diggable Planets. Of course, huge fan, like Blowout Comb, Point Blank Period is one of the best rap albums ever made, and they're just a legendary crew. And so I was excited because I wanted to see them and I didn't know what I was going to expect, what to expect. Let me tell you what happened. So they had 2 openers. There was this brother by the name of Cuff Knots who partners with this woman. Her name is Christina Lease, and she plays the harp. So he's MCing, she's singing and playing the harp. This is my harp movement for those who are watching. And I'd never heard of them, so it was beautiful to like hear them and their energy, like they set the tone perfectly. And then the second opener was Reef the Lost Cause, who is a legendary Philly MC, like battle rapper, MC, been around forever, and just murdered the microphone. He literally just came down. So me and my brother, we were standing up in the front. He literally just came down and just like rhymed in the middle of the crowd for his whole set. And it was amazing. He was dope. Diggable Planets come on and full band. So drums, keys, guitar, bass. The band is stupid dope, right? So they of course, bring all of their classic joints, perfect set list, like the mix between the first and the second album,
Yeah.
and just the elevation. Like, it was really cool watching Ishmael, like, do this crazy stuff with the drum machine to like change the tone of the songs. But of course, Ladybug and Doodlebug were like amazing, and just it was a beautiful show.
Nice.
And it reminded me of, you could tell they were just professionals, like they just been doing this for like a long time, and they clearly have gotten into a rhythm where they work well together. So yeah, man, if Diggable Planets comes to your city, go see them. It'll be a super enjoyable show. I had a ball.
That's what's up. I've got to, if they come through to the Metro Atlanta area, I'm definitely going to check them out. Glad you had a good time. I'm a little jelly though. I'm a little jelly about that. Yeah. Nah, but yeah, Diggable Planets, that Blowout Comb album, '94. I just remember wearing that cassette out. Yes, kids, cassette.
Cassette.
I remember wearing that cassette out in my, what was I driving then? I think it was an '86 Mercury Sable. I
Oh,
was driving, and you know, just wearing that cassette out because they just, the production crazy, their voices, they just had the coolest vibe. They were like the cool kids. If there was, if black people had an emo kind of vibe, they would be it. But they
yes.
were cool. They
They
were
were
much
really,
cooler.
really cool.
They were cool like that. So but yeah, but we are, you know, we are still smack dab in the middle of Pride Month,
We are.
um, June, and a lot of things are being said with regards to performances, you know, who is really riding for the community and who the icons are and who stands out. But I saw a tweet earlier this week that featured it's something that I already knew, but I was like, they're absolutely right. It's a cover of Lil Kim on Out Magazine in 1999. Lil Kim was the first rap artist they've ever had on Out Magazine, and it was a statement like Lil Kim is absolutely the first, the premier gay hip hop icon. And there's no argument with that to me because prior to Kim's presence, I don't recall, I don't recall parties or events where a mainstream artist would come through to like various pride events. I don't recall any of that happening because there was a time when that still was taboo.
Yep.
But until Little Kim came along, and I believe like the label, like this album right here, Notorious K.I.M, is really where I think they picked up on the sensibility of, oh yeah, Kim definitely has a wide variety of audience. And they was like, okay, yeah, let's hone in on that. And she of course had no issue with it. You know, you could tell by the cameos on the album, like Grace Jones, you know, you had her doing songs that were based off of house. She has quite a bit of house music that is being sampled on this album. So yeah, I just think about it and I'm like, wow, Kim really, on top of her just being dope and, you know, ushering in a new era of women MCs, she also, for all intents and purposes, became the first gay hip hop, well, not gay, but the first hip hop icon in the gay community, or
Yeah.
to the gay community.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I never thought of that. And so I've been pondering this, like going back through like my Rolodex, and you are absolutely right. That is crazy. But no, very, very true. And You could tell that she got a lot of her influence fashion wise. You know, you could definitely tell like that was definitely part of where she got some of those pieces, but also gave so much back to the community as well in terms of what folks
Absolutely.
were able to do from a fashion standpoint and just being present and always has been. So shout out to Lil Kim.
Shout out
Always.
to her. Shout out to her. And another thing, and I kind of want to stress this point, like prior to prior to like the era of the golden era of like your Little Kims and your Foxes, if you think about it, the presence of hip hop music, rap music in the gay clubs was relegated to. I'm just going to use a personal example that I witnessed myself.
Mm-hmm.
Way back in the day, kids, there was a club here in Metro Atlanta called Trax.
Mm-hmm.
Trax is located in the smack dab on Marietta Street in downtown Atlanta. And what's up, Trey? And back in the day, Trax attracted all the gay community to come out and party, and the main floor
Mm-hmm.
played nothing but house music.
Yes.
Played nothing but house music. Now, Trax had a what they call the boom boom room way up on the top. You had to like it was almost kind of dangerous how you had to get up there. All the steps that you had to climb to get up there to get into this little room, and they had one DJ that would play hip hop selections.
Mm-hmm.
And that the room was so small you could only get a few people in there, and they would play hip hop selections. I remember hearing, like cuts from Missy's first
Mm-hmm.
album. Busta Rhymes was real hot then. So, that's what they played up in that room. They played a little reggae, of course, because this is Atlanta. So the hip hop presence wasn't really heavy like that. However, fast forward to like a
Yeah.
year later, after your hardcores and Trina's coming in on the scene, you got Eve, you got all these, especially the women rappers. You have
Yeah.
all these female MCs that are just crushing it and are being invited and open to coming to these parties, especially for their black gay clientele,
Mm-hmm.
and appearing and having parties and partying with the clientele. Next thing you know, the
Swap.
main floor is playing nothing but hip hop and top 40 hits. The house
House
DJs had
DJ.
a gripe about this, but they got pushed upstairs to the boom boom room.
Yep.
So that's part of the impact
Yeah.
that hip hop had, um, led by people like Little Kim.
Yep.
They completely changed a culture within the culture. And yeah,
Yeah, that was such a and we could literally do a whole show. There is a moment, y'all, where in terms of like when we talk about LGBTQ history as it relates to Pride, where
mm-hmm.
literally the clubs flipped formats on their
Sure
main
did.
floors to be hip hop and R&B, and that literally was not the case. Um that's a whole piece of
That's a
history to talk
whole
about.
piece of history in the show, but I'm pretty certain you guys have noticed, for those of you who receive that information on your social medias, you see all the Pride celebrations coming up, and you got your Miss. Well, I don't know about Missy, but you got headliners
Hmm.
who are rap artists,
Yeah.
especially women rap artists who are mainstream that are headlining a lot of these Pride events. But not to be outdone or outshone, you also have within the community, you've got people who represent hip hop within the gay community. You've got gay rappers. You've got, and Jerry, can you believe? I believe it's been like almost 20 years plus since the whole Wendy Williams started the whole gay
The
rapper
gay rapper
scenario.
thing, and then Caution
Caution,
emerged, and oh, that was
yes,
such a crazy time. And
a
there was the
wild
whole
era.
homo hop movement, which has
Homo
a
thugging.
documentary. Yeah, like, oh my gosh, oh, history.
History, history, history. And I think tonight we are joined by somebody who is a part of that foundation, who
Hmm.
is a part of etching out like a lane for for MCs who really want to spit, who really want to make their mark and kick real rhymes and have an impact within the culture of hip hop. And, without further ado, J Ray, I say we bring him on in. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the one, the only, the legend. He's an icon. He is the moment. Let's give it up for Medino Green.
Hey,
What's from Medino
Medino.
Green?
Thank you for having me.
What's good, man? How you feeling?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys?
We are excellent and very happy to lay eyes on you and just to kind of bring you into this conversation and share your a little bit of your history in this rap game, because you've been at it for a minute. And
Yeah, it's been a while. It's definitely
it's
been
been
a
a
while.
while. I was sharing with J Ray that way back in the day, I used to do another show called Better Days Radio with my co-host Drama Dupree. Shout out to Drama in Las Vegas. And one of the main first things that we did that was so live and entertaining to us is we got to speak with people like Bone and Tell, Last Offense. Names that, like, people that really laid it down back in the day. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a young cat that was a part of that crew or that ran with some of those folks that was spitting as well. J Ray, do you know who I'm talking about?
I do know. We're gonna meet him.
Check it. They say I'm royalty in the flesh. It's said and done. These rap niggas try to play me and they gotta get sun. Real recognize real, my nigga. I ain't got no deal, but you can tell that I'm fiending for a male, nigga. I rep the hood, I speak for the gutter. And my wrist look like it spent the night on butter. My goons in the mustard Maybach with the chrome black eagle ready to put holes in your fitted cap. Some thought I wasn't the hood type. Got niggas on the block pushing snow to their hands get frostbite. We doing it way big. If niggas miss shooting at your head, we got bros to aim for your kids. I'm so through the block cheesing. Cause I got a poor wall with the same color as Christmas season. Like gas or raisin steaks. I'm already in the future. Picking my car for 1.8. My door's gonna slide to the top. And my roof gonna do it 360 and when the trunk pop, oh my god. Shit is so bright, it's like standing face to face with stars. My checks in heavy rotation. Niggas bump my shit when they hear Medino blazing. The rapper Trump Tower, y'all niggas is dazing. My targets don't live cause my aim is amazing. I won't stop and I won't lose. I'm not Hollywood, don't get us confused. This voice is the one the streets crave. I'm like a bitch, period, dog. I can flow for days. Trying to get lazy, got goons to put the pump to your nose and I ain't talking flow nasal. The youngin' that do it like no other. Y'all niggas talk shit, see I caught in the mix like Usher. Close it. Cut the rap.
First of all, why weren't you in school?
Right.
How did you get out of that? Because you had to be like in what, 5th grade at that time? You couldn't have been more than 10 or 12.
Who was that young man? Tell us about him.
Oh my God. I'm going to cry now. I was very young and I was introduced to these people, the queer artists that you see me surrounded by, and they made it okay for me to just be myself and, say whatever I wanted to say with music. So I just got inspired. I've always rapped like that. So to hear that, it was different because at the time, the other artists that were out, everybody was very sexual with their music, and I wasn't necessarily sexual. I was more so like, I'm a nigga from Southside Jamaica, Queens. Y'all gonna get it just like that. We was actually in front of the K-Slade Shade 45 building, rest of soul. They had an interview that day, and fortunately, I was not able to get in. So they was just like, well, we just gonna sit outside and chill with you for a little bit. So then everybody started rapping, and then they was just like, Medino's here, like, let's do your thing. And I was like, okay, that was that. Like, my dream was to be signed to Bad Boy before I got out of high school. I was rapping like that in high school, so everybody was just like, he going somewhere with it. And I was like, please, because I don't want to work a regular job. That was just it for me.
Wow. So,
you go ahead, Sir Daniel.
I want to ask a very elementary a journalist 101 question, but where did you get the name Medino Green? Like J-Ray and I were like, wait a minute, where did that name come from? Medino
There's
Green.
an artist that has the name Medino Green, and I wasn't aware of that until a little while later on. And I just got mine from Biggie Sky is the Limit, because he's one of the people that I look up to as an artist. And in his song Sky is the Limit, he mentioned the name Medina. And I know from like Spanish culture, like Medina or N-A at the end of a Spanish word normally means girl. So I know N-O normally means boy. So I just changed it N-O, thinking that I was doing something. I was like, okay, instead of Medina, I'll just go by Medino. Green being one of my favorite colors, it kind of just went. I still was not aware that there was somebody with the name Medino Green already. So after finding that out, I was like, oh boy, they just gonna have to share the name or move over or something, because I'm not going nowhere.
I absolutely love that. I am curious about your history. So so tell us about one of those first times that you remember either freestyling or writing something where you was like, yeah, this is me. I can do this.
So it basically started when I was in middle school. I was having to go to summer school because, you know, like all kids, they don't pay attention in school. So I had to go to summer school. I went to summer school, and there were, you know, like the kids from around the way, the boys from around the way. That's what they was doing. They was playing basketball and rapping. I wasn't playing basketball. So I was like, well, let's pick something. So I was like, all right. I saw them writing in like the little notebooks, and I was like, well, I could do that too. So I always knew I was different, but I didn't want them to know that I was obviously different from them, because when they wanted to play basketball and stuff, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to play. So I didn't want to be made fun of, basically. So I was like, well, since y'all doing that, I'll do that. So that's what I started doing. I started like getting the notebooks and writing, but I was like, I don't know what the hell to talk about. I don't know what I'm doing. So I basically started listening to like the Street Wars mixtapes that they was putting out on the streets back in the day in New York. Like Street Wars was a big thing when the artists were like beefing with each other back and forth. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I could do that. So I just started taking the shit that they were saying and rewriting it as if it was my own, and then going back and reading it to the class like, I said this. And I'll never forget, it was one girl in the class, the girl stole my notebook. I was so pissed. She stole my notebook. Then she got up there and read my shit in front of everybody as if it was hers. I will never forget that. I'm not going to put her on blast because I remember her name and everything. You know who you are. If this video ever goes viral, you know who you are.
Her name doesn't start with an O and ends with an A, does it?
No.
Because this was Southside Jamaica Queens, right? I'm just playing. Jokes, folks. It's jokes. It's just jokes. It's jokes.
So after that, I just like kept up with it, because I realized like I wasn't using the music as a reference anymore. I basically just started creating my own content, and then by the time I left elementary school and got into junior high school, I was like, okay, I could do this. I think I can do this. I started writing my own shit, and then I was sitting in the back of a math class, and I was like, this shit is boring as fuck. So I was asking the dudes that was in the back, y'all rap? Like, anybody in here know how to rap? So then we all just got together, and basically it just took off from there. I didn't go by Medino Green my whole career. I went by another name, which was J Teflon, which is in correlation with my government name. So I changed my name when I got to high school, I believe.
Okay. There's something magical about a cipher in high school, outside the flea market. There's something magical about us getting together and trading rhymes and, you know, just being influenced by other people and sharing in this hip hop thing. We started the conversation. We were talking about Lil Kim, and her influence as a quote unquote gay icon now. And as somebody who grew up in that era, you know, what does Lil Kim's presence in the gay community, what did that mean to you as an MC and as a part of the community, to see her actually acknowledging the community and, you know, being brought in to be a part of it?
I actually love that for her, because like she's who she is. I I almost had the opportunity to open for her 1 year. I missed the opportunity because I was dumb and in love, and I bailed on her.
No,
Yes.
Medino, no. Wait a minute.
I bailed.
Hold on.
I know. I will never live that down.
Please,
if God wants me to do it.
Please, kind of just walk us through that, just a little bit. I need to hear.
You was in love, clearly.
You were clearly in love. Okay, where was Kim supposed to be performing? Where was she supposed to be performing?
She was performing in New York, and it was Bryant, and it was a few other artists that were performing for her. And Brian came to me, and he was like, you know, I have to open. I want you to join me on stage. Like, let's just do this. And I was just like, oh, no, I already booked a flight. I got to go see my man, X, Y, and Z. And he was just like, what? What? And I was like, yeah, like, I was like, but you gonna kill it though. I know you're gonna kill it. He's like, what? And I was like, I know. Me and that dude not even together no more. So imagine that. Like, imagine that. So yeah, but as far as Kim goes, like, I love her. I'm a big fan of her. I wasn't actually allowed to listen to her music at first. My parents was just like, no. But it was weird that my father had like the CD. Like, he collected all those CDs because, you know, he's very old school. So he had like the CD stand that had like all the CDs stacked up on it, and hers always stood out because it was pink. All the other ones were normally like black or white, and they would be like, don't listen to that, don't listen to that. And my father wasn't buying the clean version. That's a grown ass man. He gonna buy what he wanna hear. So I would just wait until they, you know, disappeared, and I would just go sneak and listen to it. I'd be like, what the fuck? Like the intro itself.
Right.
I'm like, what am I listening? I'm like, what am I listening to?
Intro in A minor, yes.
Yep. I was like, oh my God, this is not. I'm like, where's the rap? Like, is this? Am I supposed to? Then it started registering. Like, now I see why my parents don't want me listening to this. Cause what? I don't know nothing about that. But then I was always so intrigued by it. So I was just like, okay, like she's onto something. So, you know, I saw the thread of her like being the gay icon, or like the first gay icon, where they basically like went through all the times that she's mentioned it or, you know, stood up for gay people. And I think that's really dope of her, because she knows like her core fan base is gay men. They do look up to her regardless of, you know, what they say or how they feel about her. You know, she understands the struggle, you know, to an extent. So I think that's dope.
I have a question for you. So as you began to craft, you know, come into your craft as an MC, was it your first instinct to be an out MC, or did that come later? Like, how did that evolve for you?
So I don't want to say I got dragged out the closet. No, it was one of those things where it was just like I just was rapping. I just wanted to rap. Like, you know, y'all saw the video. Like, the way I rapped in that video was how I rapped for a very long time, because that's all I knew. And it wasn't until I met artists like Brian, Last Defense, I even met Shorty Rock and stuff like that. And those were the artists that were basically just like, you know, be who you are, be yourself, like, and the rest will follow. So then I started to kind of like tweak my content just a little bit to see how people would respond to it. And it felt weird. It was really weird saying certain stuff out loud, because I'm just like, my parents is not going to listen to this. Like, they're not going to want to hear this. And at first, my parents were, like, huge, like, supporters of my music. They was like, yeah, go ahead. Only because I was still in school. So they was just like, you know, when you get out of school, find a job. Like, this is basically what it is. So I was just like, okay, they're not going to want to listen to this. So I was just like, I don't know what to do. But I just kept going and going, because I felt like what I was saying, nobody else was saying. So I felt like there's people out there that can relate to what I'm saying, and that may be what get me in the door. But then I also felt like maybe I need to change this, because I want to be somebody famous, and I don't know any famous artists like myself. So I was contemplating like, okay, you'll have to live like a double life. You'll have to be one way on stage and then be another way when you get off stage. And I'm like, that's just gonna cost a lot of money. But then I'm just like, if I keep going, I'll have the money. I'll be fine. I'll be good. So that was really just where my head was with it. But once I met those artists, they kind of just like put me in a position mentally to just be like, just do you. Just be you, say what you gotta say, and the rest will follow. If they fuck with it, they fuck with it. If they don't, they don't. And we here today.
Man, you know, the beauty of, so one of the things, and this is a personal story, I hadn't put my name, I've been out for a long time, but I hadn't put my name on anything publicly gay until like 2015. As it turns like in the public realm, but I felt like I could because I had an army of brothers behind me that I was like, well, if somebody got something to say, what they going to say? And you, it sounds like the same thing with you, where you had a crew of people that was like, do you going to be fine, and we got you, and that made a difference. That's dope.
I was like the only artist to come from Queens, and I was like the only artist to have that type of sound, because like I said, all the other artists that came out, they rapped, but majority of the rap was very much like sexual, and a lot of it was inspired by Kim. So I was like, well, I could do that, but I still want to stick to this because I want the hood niggas to play my shit. Like, I want them to see my shit and be like, hear my shit and be like, that's it right there. So that's kind of where I stood with that.
I truly, to your point, I truly saw there was a definite, there were different camps. What stood out to me the most, how there were so many non-black performers coming out under the banner of being rappers and being MCs in the beginning. And I always found that interesting. But then, I came across, your crew, the Lastos, the Bryants, the Bone and Tells, and I was like, okay, these kids are going to be okay because the hip hop is being actually represented here. But then I saw some of the non-black performers were getting certain looks that you guys were not getting, and that's been more than 10 years ago, and has much changed in your opinion?
I think so. I think it has changed. I think over time, the ones who really wanted it stuck with it, and the ones who kind of just fell off, they fell off. A lot of those people that were here when I first put my foot in the door, they not out no more. Like, they kind of just went and did their own thing, lived regular lives, and that was that. Like, Last Offense, we were cool. We actually have a song, we had a song that was out. I have the song, but we never released it because it was something that I just wanted to fix and work on. But after he dropped his Where Vivine album is, he disappeared. He kind of just fell back. No social media, changed phone number, everything. He, just disappeared. There's a few other artists that I know that kind of fell back from the music scene. There's one artist in particular that was around, I think, before I came out. He still does, music here and there, but it's not the same, it's not of the same caliber that I do music. And there's other artists that, came up and they became popular, for whatever reason or another, and they still do whatever it is that they do. And then, you have little old me that's still doing it for the Brown Boys.
Because it's an unforgiving industry.
It is.
It's really not. J. Ray and I were talking about this. If we even talking about the mainstream artists, the people, just take away the fact that you're an out MC or a queer artist. There are a lot of artists who have laid down this in hip hop, who have laid down a lot of groundwork that people are still standing on their shoulders and getting acknowledgement. but things just didn't go the way that we thought it might have gone for them. And so, but you're still doing it. You are still putting in the work. You know, you recently released the song Clap, which is dope ass song, really great for the DJs. It's an actual party song. It's actually something to move to. But I follow you on the social medias, and sometimes I'll be like, my guy is he's on one today. He's he might he's really feeling it today, and he's letting everybody have it but let's be fair. Here's something you just wrote. This is something you tweeted the other day. My only gripe about this industry shit is that for years I have made music to cater to a demographic and be a voice for people who do not give a fuck about what I have to say. All of these songs y'all are popularizing, making viral, etc. I've done that for y'all years ago, and nobody cared. I hear what you're saying. I get it, but for those who are just tuning in, who might have seen it in passing and saying, maybe he's a hater or whatever, what exactly? Let people know what you've put into your art. Let them know what you put into your art, and what is it that you don't feel you're receiving from the community, the industry. Just have at it. Because this is the crux of today's show, really, is about this moment that we're in right now musically. It's a weird moment. So go, Medino.
Before they chew me up in these comments and say like I'm bitter or jealous or I'm a hater, I'm none of that. I've always been supportive of the artists that I feel personally are dope artists. That's just that. As far as the groundwork or as far as what I've done, I've been doing this for a long time. A lot of songs that they do popularize or whatever, I've made songs in the same aesthetic. So it's kind of just like, y'all not listening to this, but y'all listening to that, when that shit don't even make sense, or it's not it's basically basic, so to speak. And that's not to take away from what anybody is doing. I'm just more, to me, when I put out my content, I feel like I'm just more tuned in with it as far as like making sure that all grounds are covered. And I try to make the music make sense to people when they listen to it. Because as a person that does music, I listen to lyrics. A lot of the lyrics do not be making sense. So when I write the music, I try to write the music to make it make sense so the dots connect as much as possible. So as far as aesthetics go, like, I don't know what the year was. I did a mixtape called The Carry, and on that mixtape, I basically did like Hot Boy. Everybody, for that time that it was out, everybody was on their Hot Boy shit. Everybody was on their Hot Girl shit. I made a song that wrapped the whole aesthetic up in one package. It was received decently. I felt like they could have received it more, or they could have received it in a better way. After that, I rolled into before that, I believe, I did, what was it called? The 10 Mac Commandments. Basically, step by step on not dealing with fuckboys or staying away from fuckboys. And now the aesthetic that everyone has is fuckboy this, fuckboy that. I've been doing this. This is something that I've already given to y'all. If they listen to the music that's on SoundCloud, they listen to the freestyles that are on SoundCloud, everything that people are saying now, I've been saying for years. So what is it about me that y'all don't want to hear it from me, but y'all rather hear it from somebody else? Like, that's my own, like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, the math don't be mathing when I add it up. So that's my only issue, is that I'm not able to I'm not getting the same treatment, I feel like, when it comes to what other artists are doing. When I see other artists put out songs and the songs go viral, I'm just like, what? Like, that's what y'all want to hear? when I did clap, y'all wasn't gonna get clap. Y'all was gonna get a drill song because drill was trending at the time. So I was like, okay, let me just do this drill song. And then I was just like, well, drill is what everybody's doing right now, but I need to think probably ahead of the curve or jump off the curve and do something different. So I was like, let me do clap. Clap would be something that people can dance to. It's relatable, and we live in a time where TikTok is making the world go round. So do something that people can probably respond to on TikTok or play around with on TikTok. That's why clap exists now. So for me, after being in this industry for so long and putting out so much content and doing these songs, I just feel like the value or the appreciation value for me is not where it should be, because I feel like I've done more than enough to get people to be like, that shit is dope. Because whether you like me or you don't like me as a person, one thing no one can ever say is that my music is whack. Even when I be arguing with the trolls on Twitter and they be like, oh, you a SoundCloud rapper, and I'll be like, well, tell me my shit is whack. They can't never say that it's whack, because it's not. But for whatever reason, like, I don't know if the wrong people are hearing it. I don't know if I'm just like shadow banned in a realm where my shit is just reaching everybody the way that it should be. But I personally just feel like I've done more than my fair share, and I should be way more ahead in my career than I am right now.
I feel every word. And Trey, I put it up, but Trey, thanks for joining us, Trey. Trey said, we as a community have to do a better job of supporting our artists, period. And that's where I think the crux of this conversation lies. Because when Sir Daniel shared that tweet with me, I was like, oh my God, I have so much to say. So, and I think it ultimately comes down to this, right? That's why I think Q Points exists. And that's why I think us having this conversation with you is really important, because our pioneers don't get the shine. We are always catching up to you. Be like, oh, child, so-and-so was doing that like 20 years ago, child. Go and play that. And that's the inspiration, right? So it is important for us to be able to remind you, Medino. That's why we wanted to play that video of you. That's why we wanted to have the videos playing at the top, to remind you that the work that you're doing is important, you're talented, and that you matter. You're welcome. And keep going, and whatever that means for you. I'm not saying do something if you like, I can't do it no more, but this is our reminder for you to keep going, and whatever keep going means, do that and do you. And keep following your path, whatever that means. But we have to do a better job of making sure that you as an artist get the support that you need. And making sure that people hear about your work and know about your work and know about your history. And we just gotta do it.
Because it's not like people don't know that I exist. Like Kid Fury mentioned me and a few other artists that were out for a while, just basically telling people like, you guys gotta do your research, give these artists their respect because they've been grinding for a long time. We have. And some of us are getting to an age where we're just like, okay, this is not fun anymore. Like, some of us are still young, like myself, but this is not getting fun anymore, because it's like every time I turn around, somebody's going viral or they popping up and doing this and doing that, and then people want to inbox me and ask me how I feel about this or how I feel about that, and I'm just like, I don't feel no type of way. I'm just tired. So one thing's for sure, y'all better hope I don't get a gray hair, because the moment I see a gray hair, that's that. Like, that lets me know, like, my time is done. Like, I've done what I needed to do, and that's just that.
Well, as somebody with a face full of gray hairs, I can tell
you with the seniors right now.
You sit at the senior table right now. I can tell you that life doesn't end at gray hairs. But it's funny. So Gil, out in Chicago, just posted a comment regarding how pride events typically, like I mentioned at the top, they typically book people who are established, book people who are not necessarily of the community. And but now we're kind of seeing a shift in that, because we do have, for all intents and purposes, we do have at least two artists in the limelight right now who are getting those major looks. Whether or not they're going to participate in Pride events this year, I don't know. It remains to be seen. But, do you feel, and it may not, that wave may not include you, it may, but do you think that people are doing enough to reach into the pot of artists that are already established and bringing them, pulling them up on stage?
No, no, they're not. And I think for me and how I would have operated in a situation like that, like if I knew that I was doing something, you know, and getting my name out there and making my rounds, I would also, I always tell myself, like, if I'm going to eat, I'm going to make sure the people that I came up with eat as well, because we didn't waste our time doing this for nothing. All the money I spent in the studio, I probably could have bought a house. I probably could have bought a G-Wagon. I probably could have bought a whole new closet. I spend entirely too much money in the studio. I spend money on beats, leases, or even ownership of the beats, and then have to pay for studio mixing, all that. All that stuff is expensive. So for me, knowing that there was people that came before me or during my time of what I was doing, personally, I would just do a little bit of work to be like, okay, who's here? Like, who's doing what? And it wouldn't just be me picking the popular people, because I feel like that's another thing that people do. They only tend to look at who's popular. A lot of times, the dopest people don't get no type of recognition or get seen just because people don't know how to take their aesthetic or don't know how to digest them as a person. You know what I mean? And I feel like right now, because being extremely flamboyant has been a part of pop culture in defining who gay men are, black gay men as a whole, overall, it has just become acceptable. So it's more easier to digest. When you have an artist that's much more masculine defying, it's kind of hard to market them, because you look at them and you say, okay, well, I can't put him in a dress. I'm sure the labels are looking, I can't put this man in a dress. So what can I do with him? But they don't realize that there's people like him that do exist. Not everybody wants to have that aesthetic or fit in the mold that they've created for us.
This is where I think, as we think about this weird moment that we're in with TikTok, and I know that we'll talk about that, but how for you, I see the independent moment that we're in as an opportunity to kind of like, one, build your audience and talk just to them. As an independent artist, what have you enjoyed most about your experience, and what would you identify as like your biggest challenge as an indie artist? So thing you enjoy the most and your biggest challenge.
So the thing I enjoy the most is really just the freedom to be able to drop music whenever I want to. Apparently there's like this rumor going around with labels that they're holding their artists hostage. They're not dropping music till the artist does something that goes viral. So
it's not a rumor, it's true. Yeah,
I've seen it a few times, and it kind of sucks that that's the route that they're going, but we live in a time where you have to go viral in order to get people to pay attention to you. The hardest part is getting the respect that you deserve as an artist, because if I email a promoter and say, like, I want to perform for this event that you have going, I send an EPK, I introduce myself, I put the numbers in there, like, I've been doing this since this year, blah, 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 whatever. They go look on my Instagram, or they go look on YouTube, or they go look on SoundCloud, and they're just like, okay. That's just okay. Or they'll be like, well, we're not accepting, or we'll get back to you or whatever, just because I don't have a certain amount of followers or the numbers are not like skyrocket. You know what I'm saying? That's the hardest part, because those are missed opportunities for me. A lot of times I feel like they don't even bother to listen to the content that you send them. They just want to look at your numbers and decipher, is he going to bring a crowd out or not? Because they got to get paid.
Yeah.
They want to know, can you put money in their pocket or not? If they don't see you profitable, then no. They may put you as an opener, and then when they put you as an opener, here's $100. That $100 coming out of their pocket from their 9 to 5. That's it. Here's your wristband. Here's your $100. Have a good night.
And a bottle, maybe.
Maybe.
It's a very.
You might get a drink ticket.
There you go. It's a very weird era, not just for queer artists, for artists as a whole. As J. Ray mentioned, like, we've got this weird thing where TikTok. There is a viral clip of these kids. I think it might have been a middle school dance. And these kids, every single song that they went bananas for was made popular because of TikTok, was made popular because of this app and whatever algorithm. If people are pairing a funny video with a particular song, then the song becomes viral, which is very weird. It's weird for me as somebody who likes to DJ. That's why I kind of don't bother myself with like a lot of mainstream events. I do what I do because I enjoy it, and the people that attend those things enjoy a more organic or a more crusty type of DJ flow at those particular events. But it's an environment that has been created by the powers that be, and it just seems like the industry, and I think Prince, we celebrated his birthday the other day, of the video of him saying the music industry is not run by musicians. It's run by accountants. It's run by people who want to get returns on their investments. And I don't know if we're too far deep in for artists to take it back, but it seems to be that is the way that things are going. That is how, like you said, there are artists who are established. They've got albums done, completed, but their label will not let it go, will not release it, because they need to have some accompanying viral moment.
Mm-hmm. They need to do something foolish.
Yeah, I do think. Well, okay, so in taking a step back, and I had to do my TikTok research. I'm trying to get big on the tiki. I'm trying to do better with the tiki top.
The tickety top.
The tickety top. I'm trying to do better. And so one of the things I did learn in particular as it relates to music is the demographic, and this was crazy to me. The demographic that they're targeting is 11 to 24.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is a very specific group. It's that group that Sir Daniel sent me that video, by the way, Medino. These kids was dancing to the most random. I was like, how did that DJ random. Even get from that song to this
the next one.
Song? I don't even know how they made that choice, but it wasn't a choice. It was just like, no, I'm gonna just like drop it in, and the kids were just dancing to it. The point is, the algorithm, the way that TikTok has been set up is, especially if you're in this creators program, from what I understand, y'all, for folks that are experts in the TikTok and Medino, you might know about this as well. The creators program, they have people, these experts that are managers of your account that can help you to go be big on TikTok. And that is so nuts to me, and it is driving everything about our musical experience. There was, I think it was Rodney Jerkins that talked about the fact that producers don't get a chance to produce anymore. They send out the packs to the artists. The artist will sing over the joint, but he was like, well, child, it ain't got no bridge. It don't have no nothing. It was just a baseline beat. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of the moment we're in, folks. You don't want no more. You just kind of getting this.
They don't.
And a
Our
dance.
attention span has our attention span with music has gotten shorter, so they've created shorter songs. We just enjoy for the moment. We don't enjoy for long term. So that's the part that sucks. Because there's some artists out there that still try to make music for long term, and they're not appreciated versus someone that can throw something in the microwave for 60 seconds and boom.
How was your TikTok experience? Like, when did you figure out that you needed to incorporate that into your marketing plan? And I know that for me, I was resistant. Sir Daniel could tell me, like, because we had to make a Q points TikTok and stuff. I'm still figuring it out. So I was resistant. I was like, I don't do that. But now I guess I do.
It's like we have to. We're being forced to do it now.
I've never been like a real fan of social media. Like I've always hated it because I just was like, this is foolery. Like I've always just wanted to be like authentic, you know, just rap to a stranger, sell my shit out of somebody's trunk, you know, do some random shit. And now that I see like you have to have the world zoom in on you so that way someone can see it and be like, this may be an investment. I get it, you know. I joined TikTok and my numbers are climbing up there. I don't really post too much content because I'm just like, I don't want to oversell myself, but I do want to get into the habit of just like creating content just for TikTok because I feel like, you know, people are going to see it, you know, people will tune in, they'll listen. I've posted clips of my song on there and, you know, people responded. I seen one person actually use like one of my freestyles as his sound to his video, and I was like, that's dope. But I was just like, it's dope, but I was just like, it is what it is. Like, I don't, you know, I was just like, this is dope, I guess. Like, I don't know. But I've known TikTok to be around for a while. When I did like my first project, well, not my first project, my first EP, Green, and I have a song on there called Stick a Fork in Them, and somebody sent me a TikTok of a dude like using that sound to stick a fork in shit, and I'm just like, what? Is this what they're doing? But I was like, you know what? Whatever is going to keep these records spinning, whatever is going to keep the lights on, I don't give a fuck. Do what y'all need to do. You can stick a fork in yourself for all I care. Just keep the lights on if you're going to do it. Okay? Like, I quite frankly don't care.
So what I think Medino is saying that he's willing to pivot a little bit. To pivot for your art, for your art's sake.
Yes, I don't mind doing it. I know everybody else is doing it. I'm just not one of those people that want to invest too much time into it because I feel like that's something you do in your downtime. For me, I don't want to have downtime because I just want to be able to create and create and create. So if given the opportunity, I wake up one day and my phone is frozen because I done went viral, you know, the TikToks will just be whatever they're gonna be. But in the meantime, in between time, y'all gonna get tired of hearing my voice because once I get the green, I'm just going and going and going. Okay, I'm not gonna stop.
Oh my! Where does that? What keeps you motivated every day to keep giving us these crazy bars that you give? What keeps you motivated?
I know I have a lot to say, and I know a lot of stuff that I say is very relatable. It could be a little sassy at times, and I know people like it. So I think that's what keeps me going. And I kind of feel like when I hear other artists put out songs, I listen to the songs. And then if I put out a song, I'm like, I know my shit is slapping. Like, that just does it for me. That's like an internal thing. But as far as like the outside goes, there's people out there that really fuck with me and that support my music. So those are people that keep me going, you know, because when the light bill needs to get paid, the light bill gets paid. You know what I mean? So these are people that keep me going. So I really appreciate them. I just know we could pay the rent if we keep going, you know, the light bill and the rent too. So, you know, I don't know, I don't feel like I'm done. I don't feel like I haven't said all that I had to say. But I do know that when that time comes, it'll come, and when it comes, I will be happy with wherever I am in my career, whether I'm on the main stage or still performing at a hole in the wall. I will be happy. If I have kids, I will have the discography to show them this is what I spent money on when I was your age, and this is what I did. You know, so that's just what that is.
Well, we're here for it. We're here to support you, and I appreciate the tenacity because with these vicious MFs, it do take nerve. It takes a lot of nerve to be an artist in this day and age. Regardless, like have you considered writing for other people?
Um, I have. I can't say who, but I was offered to write for 2 female artists. I did make a submission for one of them, and I guess they didn't like it, so they didn't go with it. The other one, she's an up and coming female rapper, so we'll see how that goes. But yes, I have been offered to write for females. I'm not opposed to writing for other male artists. They just need to pay me because I'm not just writing the shit for free.
Right.
But yeah, that's all I can say for that.
You also have a vibrant personality. So in addition, what are some of the other things outside of MCing and like burning mics up with your rhymes? Are there other things that you're like, oh, here's some stuff that I want to try in the future?
I like cooking, so I think I always tell myself like if rap don't work, get your ass in the kitchen and just do it. So that's something that I do. Of course, I like to shop. I don't think I'm a stylist, but a lot of people would say like, you know, you be wearing some shit and you be putting it together. And I think that's just because, you know, being from New York, like you have to know how to dress because if not, they're going to clown you. And we not getting clowned over here. So I just put that together. And that's really it. I'm more like I guess I'm like a at home, like a homebody type of person. I don't necessarily care for the clubs. Like I go out and I, you know, have a good time. But if it was up to me, if the money was flowing right, like I would be at home in my bed watching Law and Order, eating junk food, like being an old man. Like I would be doing that. But fortunately, that's not how that is. So, you know, I got to get my ass up and do what Kim K said, get a fucking job. So, you know, out here working.
Right. But I think it's a very good idea, you know, keep that publishing. The publishing game is where it's at. So make sure keep your publishing house or whatever it is that you intact, because who knows, that opportunity may come by and as soon as somebody puts it out there, be like, there's a writer credit that needs to be put here. And you know, writer credits mean the world can change a person's life. So before we raise up out of here, Medino, let everybody know how they can get in contact with you, how they can listen to Clap, as you say, as you like to say, run those numbers up.
Run them the fuck on up, okay?
Talk to the people, let them know.
So you guys can find me basically anywhere. Well, not anywhere, but you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Medino Green. You can find me on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Medino Green. I'm on Facebook, Medino Green Music, and anywhere you get your music from, Amazon or Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, iHeartRadio, whatever. Just type my name in, and it'll pop up.
That's what's up.
I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, this live conversation with you, and I speak for myself. I really appreciate what you do, and again, the tenacity. It's the tenacity for me, and you know, the stick-to-itiveness. I know people don't know haven't used that term in a long time, but yeah, I appreciate you, Medino Green, and I thank you for being with us today. J Ray, final thoughts.
Listen, I echo everything that Sir Daniel just said, and I am happy that we get a chance to support you, bro, because you deserve it. I mean, listen, we gotta do it, and for all of y'all that are listening, and we say this a lot on Q Points, but we have to be there for our folks. Like, if we not doing it, nobody else is going to do it. And so Medino, yes, I echo what Sir Daniel said, and thank you for just keeping on and keeping on. And however we can support you here at Q Points, you just let us know how to do that. So yeah, this has been dope, man. We appreciate it. You're welcome.
You're quite welcome. So, as I say, kids, every single week in this life, you have a choice. You can either pick up the needle or you can let the record play. I'm DJ Sir Daniel.
Y'all, my name is J Ray, and it's been so good to see y'all. That's Medino Green.
That is Medino Green.
Run them stream numbers up.
The numbers up.
Clap is out now. Make sure y'all go check that out.
Absolutely. This has been Q Points. We thank you. We appreciate you tuning in. Until next time, be good to yourself and be good to everybody else. All right?
Peace out.